Alrighty then, everybody. Rock your body. I'm kidding. Welcome everybody across the entirety of the multiverse. This intro is
God.
awful. I love it. Um, this is Lux Crew, where we talk about gaming that we like, whether it's Call of Duty, Halo, Smite, MOBAs, non-MOBAs, Fortnite, whatever is interesting us and has some sort of topics that we want to talk about. We're gonna talk about them. And this week's episode is going to be Call of Duty Black Ops 4 as a whole. And I am joined by my wonderful co-host. I can talk today. My boy, Carnage, Agent Z115. How you doing?
I actually haven't been going by that name in a long time.
Well, so what do you like officially go by as far as like
Zenithal Carnage.
okay.
That's what I've been going by.
So
That's
I
my
so yeah,
channel.
I'm gonna just call him Carnage because that it works.
Yeah. That's all good.
And then we will be joined eventually by my boy Delta, Asteroid Delta. He's awesome. We will be there. He will be here in a minute. Let's just see. I'm just typing in our chat here, lads. Can you join the call or no? So let's see how Delta is if he's able to just join the call or not. That'll be the interesting part of this. A few minutes. Okay, so let's start out with the. I think we should start out with the general sort of like almost like what we think. I guess the out of 10 or out of 5 sort of like score for Black Ops 4 as a whole, and then we'll say why we think that, and we'll give very basic thoughts on a whole scale level.
Okay.
So we'll start with you, Carnage, and then we'll do mine, and then we'll do Deltas if he gets in.
All right. So for me, I would say Black Ops 4 is an amazing game. I really like it. I think it's one of the best Call of Duties to come out in a long time. It's better than Black Ops 3, just putting that out there, in my opinion at least. So I would give it a 9, and I only give it a 9 because I do believe that on launch there were a lot of issues, and those issues did cause a lot of complaints and like Easter egg hunting, such as the crashing and all that.
Yeah, there's my boy Delta. So there's
Yes.
there's my absolute mad lad of a friend, Asteroid Delta. Well, quickly, how are you doing today, Delta?
It's alright, man. Things are going well.
All right. So what we've started out with is we're doing basically our very basic general thoughts on Black Ops 4 as a whole, and we're doing like a out of 10 sort of feel, out of 10 or out of 5 sort of feel. Carnage, carry on, my wayward son.
It'll be peace
That's a
when
good
you
song.
are done.
Supernatural. Um,
So you were saying that you think generally that this is probably one of the best Call of Duty sort of to come out to date.
yeah, I just think its launch is a little messed up
Mhm.
because it did come out with a lot of bugs and issues. But I feel like Treyarch has been doing really well with the hot fixes. They have definitely been like on it with listening to the community and keeping an eye out for like problems like they fixed the tigers, they fixed the health like a few days after launch. I think is beautiful.
Right.
And like they really know how to listen to the
The
people.
community.
So
Yeah. So also for everyone watching at home, I need to quickly make my gameplay go because that'd be useful. Um, but for everyone watching at home, just to clarify, um, I Lux am like represented by the top right box. Delta is represented by the top left box, and Carnage is the bottom left. And in the bottom right, we don't have Red Austin 27. That is a complete meme image brought to you in part by my boy Delta. It's
Yeah.
amazing. I love it.
We're
Yeah,
going with not read.
yeah, we're going with not read. We were gonna have a guest, but then some other things came up and all that kind of stuff. And all of the links to myself for my YouTube, my Twitter, and Carnage's Twitter and his YouTube, and Delta's YouTube and Twitter are all going to be in my descriptions. And I don't know about Delta or Carnage for what they're doing with all that, but yeah,
I
Delta,
don't
let's
know
get
what I'm
in.
doing.
Delta, let's get into your sort of general sort of thoughts on all of Black Ops 4.
There's a lot of really nice things. There's really nice things.
So and
Very, very subtle voice.
so and Carnage, what would you rank Black Ops 4 out of say 5 or 10?
I'd say out of 5, I'd give it a 4, and out of 10, I'd give it a 9.
Fair enough. And then for Delta, what would you say?
I give it a classified out of 5, and for out of 10, I give it a classified times 2 out of 10.
So classify so 5 because classified's the Pentagon?
Yes.
All right, that's a
So 5 times 2 out of 10. So
absolute
that's 10
mad
out of 10.
absolute mad lads. All right.
Wait, okay, and in the other corner, we have Brad Austin 47 here as our next guest. What, Reed, what
So,
do you got?
what do you think, not
No?
read?
Nothing?
Yeah, nothing, Reed. It doesn't matter what you think. It's fine. Reed has a much
Classified is the best.
classified is the best map. I can't imitate Reed very well.
That
You
was pretty
gotta.
close.
Oh my
Alright,
gosh.
Reed, if you would like to come on the podcast, let me know. No?
I would. Yeah, right. Like anybody that wants to come on here, my boy Turbo, Reed, anybody, hit one of us up. Well,
No, no one,
Yeah, that'd
no.
be cool.
Oh, nobody saying anything? No, no, no. Oh, okay, there's no responses. Was awkward. Okay.
All right, and then for me, as far as Black Ops 4, my general thoughts are, I don't know. I feel very mixed
Man.
on it, honestly. Anyone who's paid attention to my Twitter will know that or even my Facebook will know that I'm very mixed on how I feel about this game. And we'll get more into it with each sort of thing. But I would say for ranking it out of 5, I'd still definitely give it a solid like 3 to 4, just because I do generally feel it's a solid game as far as just generally like if you're just picking up Call of Duty for the first time, like as a Christmas noob or something like that, like this is definitely going to be a game that's going to be good. You're going to get
Entertaining.
yeah, you're going to get a lot of
Christmas new.
you're gonna get a lot of playtime in it and all that stuff, but you're not gonna yeah, it's not gonna be anything crazy, especially if you're a returning COD fan. Like if you're a returning COD fan, it might bring you back because it's so uniquely different, but at the same time you might not like all the changes. It's hard to say. And as far as out of 10, I would give it a solid IX out of 10.
Oh my god.
I'm
Or should I
opening
say,
up
oh my
Black's
gods?
Twitter right now.
All right. So
I'm gonna look
first,
at your tweets and read them out, just like Ryhouse27 and Johnny J did on the Thumbers podcast with my tweets.
let's not and say we did, Delta. Let's not and say we did. My tweets,
Okay. I'm just looking at the tweets, so just to get a general idea.
yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I feel like my tweets for anyone just looking at them might make me come off as like I absolutely hate everyone and everything.
Yeah, no, I can agree with that. I'm sorry. It's just like, yeah,
I
I can agree.
I feel like when it comes to Twitter now, I feel like I'm almost becoming how Mata was within the last like 2 years.
Mod is cool though.
I think I'm pretty nice and cool outside of how I look on Twitter. How I look on Twitter
Twitter
is
is just full of retards though, isn't it?
yeah. So anyways, let's get into our topics, lads.
Okay, all you on Twitter, get off the.
Get off the fucking
Oh my
internet,
god.
you
Hey,
degenerate
you!
people.
Stop doing that!
All right, guys, let's get into our first topic. Of course, being Blackout. Let's start with Delta this time. What are you feeling from Blackout thus far? Because you're on PC, right?
I haven't played yet, but yeah, I'm gonna be getting it soon
Did
on
you
PC.
did you get did you
I
play
need to
the
get my.
did you play the beta at all?
Nah, I can't. My laptop isn't good enough.
Oh, rip. Well,
Like that's the problem though. So I'm getting a new laptop soon, so I'm gonna be able to play PC.
oh, okay, okay.
So I'm very excited for that moment. Anyways, the look of Blackout just looks a lot better than the first version the beta that
Mhm.
we saw. And for a mode being put together in only a few months, it's really impressive.
Right.
I love it already. It's like I can't believe they pulled it off. I guess it plays better than Fortnite. I've never played Fortnite, but
Fair enough.
it looks like it plays better, and it looks like it's a lot more fun with a lot more options.
Right.
Fast gun,
Definitely.
fast gunfights, very nice.
And
Very
I like
colorful.
how. Oh,
go
sorry.
ahead, go ahead.
I like how the skins are unlockable via missions
Mhm.
rather than you have to pay for them or level up to get them.
Yeah.
Like you actually have to go on quests to get the skins.
Yeah. I agree with that. Yeah, Delta, have you like seen any videos or anything about any of the character challenges for skins yet?
I think there was one where Woods bandana by Drifter. He only
Mhm.
mentioned it briefly, but
Yeah.
that's that kind of stuff really like entertains me.
Yeah.
That gives me high hopes.
Yeah.
Where this is gonna be like a microtransaction free game from the looks of it.
Oh, they'll find a way.
I was
Well,
just
apparently
gonna
there's no supply drops though.
I so yeah, there as far as I'm aware, there's not gonna be like supply drops, but it's probably gonna be like, and this is all preemptive guessing, of course, but they're obviously gonna monetize the system that we have in zombies for getting consumables. Why wouldn't they? Plus, we all know that with pretty much any edition that isn't the base edition of Black Ops 4, you get COD points. So there's gonna be something somewhere that is monetized, but whether or not it's actually anything that is super like important is uncertain. But I don't know. I feel like the character challenges for Blackout are a good idea, because I'd rather have it be that I have to go on a challenge and complete something and I actually get rewarded for doing that thing. But from what I've seen from the challenges of what you need to do for the ones that we know so far, which most of them are, so all the ones that I know of that we've found are most of the specialists. There's a few that we haven't found yet, but you got like Ajax, and like I don't know all their names, but like Recon, Battery, those kind of guys. We have those.
Yeah.
We have Raul Menendez from Black Ops 2, and we have Frank Woods from Black Ops 1. But the
One
problem that,
and
Give,
two and three.
yeah,
give me Makarov.
Well, 1, 2, and 4, not 3.
yeah, and the only issue I have with it, with the challenges thus far, is that a lot of the challenges are very, most of them don't seem like they're super difficult, but they have a lot of RNG required with them. So, for example, Woods is required. So what you have to do is you have to find Woods bandana, which is apparently, from things that I've seen, you have to get that off of a zombie, which is which is weird to start out with. I'll get to that. Then you have to keep that in your inventory all game. So you're using up an inventory slot. You have to at least have piloted a helicopter or have been in a helicopter at least once within the same game. And then I think you have to win, or you have to be top 5 to get Woods.
Damn.
And here's the weird thing is like the RNG of getting these items in zombies is hard to say, because in
Yeah.
general it genuinely seems like zombie item drop rates are not that like super like they don't come often enough, which is
Well, I think
obviously
that's what it's supposed to be though. Maybe because the zombie items are pretty overpowered as it is. Speaking of zombies, by the way, apparently just found out, but nah, never mind. We'll tell you later. We'll get to zombies.
all right. Fair enough. But yeah, so as far as Blackout's concerned, how do you feel about it so far, Carnage?
I have only played 2 games, and I always drop at Verrucht,
Fair enough.
or the Asylum as it's called in the Blackout.
Yep.
Nuketown,
I need to drop at Nuketown eventually.
drop
I
everywhere.
feel like that's where everyone drops, so I'm like a
Everyone
little
drops at
worried to
both
do
of
that.
those locations. Me and my boy Antwer have dropped in a very specific location pretty much every single game, and it's a really great location. It makes for actually getting really good, like, when I say really good loot, I don't mean like level 3 armor and all the best weapons and all the best attachments, but usually you get at least a level 1 armor and pretty good weapons that you can use, and either a truck or a helicopter, or you get a trauma kit, like sort of like medical pack where you get a trauma kit, medical kit, and a shite load of bandages, or you get like a really strong weapon like a sniper rifle or something like that. So,
Nice.
and honestly, I've played I think a total of like 30 games, and and over half of them I've placed in top 10. So I'm already like level 5 almost in Blackout because of the fact that I've played it a decent amount.
Oh, leveling up's pretty hard in Blackout, I guess, then.
No, the Blackout leveling, all you need to do is you get merits for doing any challenges, but the challenges aren't just the character challenges. So if you do anything towards a calling card, there's even a calling card for just participating and just landing and playing the game. So if you just play Blackout, you can get merits and level up. Um,
Okay.
so you get merits for doing any challenges that have to do with calling cards and character challenges, obviously. You get merits for placing in, you get 50 for placing in top 10, and you get 100 for getting a victory. And then I think you get 10 for every single kill that you get.
That's a
And when I
difficult
say
level.
kill, I mean you have to actually down them and do the cleanup. They
That's a
actually have
pretty
to be dead.
difficult like
I've
level
gotten 2
upgrade.
kills in 2 games so far. Am I good?
What's that?
I've gotten 2 kills in 2 games so far. Am I good?
I don't know.
No,
I
not
don't
at all.
know.
No, I know. I suck at Battle Royale.
But
You suck.
I don't know. I feel like with Blackout for me, I said this before when I was on Zom Squad for the beta. I was like, honestly, I feel like Blackout is the best battle royale thus far, but I also don't feel like that's saying a lot because battle royale as a genre isn't a very great game concept.
I mean, Fortnite's doing something right.
I don't
Maybe it's not bad, but it's just like for me, I
See,
just don't like.
I'm not one of those people that I don't like Fortnite because it's a battle royale, and it's not that I don't like Fortnite because it's popular either. It's more of the fact that I played Fortnite and I have a stream on my channel about it too. And the problem I mainly have with Fortnite that I don't feel like I have with Blackout is after I land, I feel like I go ages without finding somebody. And it's not because of the fact
Yeah.
I'm not looking for them.
Everyone
It's
lands at tilted.
Yeah, it's because of the fact that literally I just can't find anybody because I don't like I want to play the game modes of battle royales so I
Mm.
can win or I can try and get close to winning. So I'm not going to land at like some of the most high traffic areas that are well known just so I can find somebody and die within 2 seconds. And that's what I feel like all battle royales are, is either you land close to everyone and die right away, or if you're lucky you somehow get out, or you don't land where everyone else lands and you can get good loot, but then you probably are going to spend a while finding people. But I feel like in Blackout I don't really have that issue just because I feel like I don't know if it's how they make their circle, like it feels like it's just much faster than Fortnite and other games. It just feels like generally every game takes me like maybe 20 minutes, and
Hmm.
that's
Yeah.
like it's over. Whereas a game in Fortnite feels like I go and I land like say Loot Lake or something like that. And this is older Fortnite, so I don't even know if Loot Lake is even still a thing. I don't know, and I honestly don't care. But
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the thing though.
I,
Here's what's going on is that Blackout has a faster time to kill. Fortnite is very drawn out, very slow. I'd say not as slow as PUBG. PUBG takes a long time to
yeah.
get any kills in.
Well,
That's a
see,
different experience. Yeah.
see, but that's the thing that's weird though is
There's some
usually with me I like long drawn out conflicts as far as games are concerned. I like the long games because of the fact that then it feels almost like that war of attrition and that war of like, oh yeah, like this is a real conflict, whereas like, I get shot in the face across the entire planet by some 12-year-old kid that tells me he's fucked my mom. I don't That's not appealing to me, But in
Yeah. Oh,
I
I'm sorry, guys. My dog's barking.
doggo.
your dog just really is enthusiastic about Call of Duty podcasts.
It likes
Yeah.
Blackout.
Yeah,
Yeah,
doggo.
He or she likes Blackout,
yeah.
He.
But
or she just wants us to move on to zombie.
we'll get there, Delta. We'll get there. Multiplayer is going to be really quick because there's not a whole lot in multiplayer for
I
me to
haven't
talk
played
about anyway.
multiplayer because I
Neither
haven't
have
played
I.
Black Ops 4.
But so with Blackout, I just generally feel like it's just better because at least in Blackout, I actually get to see people. Whereas in Fortnite, like, yeah, it's long and drawn out, but the problem is it's not a long and drawn out thing where I actually found somebody and we're having this long drawn out battle. It's more like I spend 20, 30 minutes running from where I landed to try and find another person. And chances are, because of the weird like aiming and shooting system and the build system that I'm still not good at, that I'm just gonna get fucked up. And it's just gonna be like, okay, I just wasted 20, 30 minutes of my life. Versus in
It's neat
Blackout, even if I don't get a single kill and I don't get top 10, I don't feel like I wasted my time because I can get into an ATV and go fucking flying off of cliffs and shit. And I'm enjoying it because I'm being a mad lad.
Yeah,
So all in all, lads, I think Blackout is pretty.
success.
It's good so far. Let's hope they keep it fresh enough, but not so fresh that it's like Fortnite where they update it into the floor. Fair enough.
Yep.
Yeah. Damn dogs.
Yeah.
Right. Then so as far as multiplayer is concerned, both of you have said that you guys really haven't played a whole lot of MP.
Yeah.
All I have to say about MP is that all the remastered maps, so your firing range, your jungle, and slums and summit, they don't play the same, specifically because if I play ruin on any of those and I use the grapple gun, I'm literally getting into all these spots that used to be like the premier. If you could get there back in like the Black Ops 1 Black Ops 2 days, if you could get there, you own the map. Now with ruin you can get there in 2 seconds and you don't own the map anymore just because of all the specialist abilities being able to do all this random crazy shit. But like in general, it just feels like, I don't know if it's that they need to nerf the cooldown on Ruin's grapple gun or if it's just that these maps are just going to play like that because they were made for much slower combat. But they generally play just so weird. Like the premier camp spot in jungle, you can grapple hook to that from the ground underneath it. So that camping
Mm.
spot is no longer like the setup where you just place, a claymore or trip mine, across where people are gonna come up the ladder and then you hold the entirety of like half of the map. No, that's not gonna happen now. Because someone's just gonna grapple hook up and punch you in the face.
Yeah, it's kind of overpowered. It's not very good.
Yeah,
The
so
maps though look gorgeous. I'd say.
yes, absolutely. The maps look fucking amazing.
In updated textures too, we needed this.
Yeah.
Like
Oh
I
yeah,
love Firing
definitely.
Range. Jungle is also one of my favorites.
Hmm.
But to actually see it in this and to see it in an updated game like this is beautiful, especially with like with Asylum kind of. Asylum's kind of,
Yeah,
and it looks very nice. I'd
yeah.
say.
But yeah, that's pretty much all I have for MP because honestly, I feel like MP is just a very, very long sort of. It's the same old stuff every year. Like there might be new game modes and stuff, but most of the game modes, like this is the problem with a lot of the gaming industry nowadays, is everything like it's not that everything has been done because there's always something that hasn't been done, but it's just a matter of finding something that hasn't been done and that you can think of that isn't based off of something else. I feel because that's been my biggest uh, gripe with Black Ops 4, not only as a whole but specifically in zombies, is that a lot of the, and this is going to be a great segue into zombies, a lot of the quote unquote new things that are innovations are all things that Treyarch seemingly have stolen from other games, not just other zombies games, but other games as a whole. Like pretty much all of our new perks and abilities having things to do with like, oh, like we'll give you shields, and then when your shield breaks, there's a defensive blast away, or different things like that. Or slowing zombies down and like things that seem like they're CC effects that you see in a MOBA are now in zombies, which is just weird. And then you got a lot of like other things that are just, these are things that we've seen, but now that Treyarch's doing it, everyone's like, innovation, motherfuckers.
That's good.
I mean,
I mean,
you're
it's
what
utilized in a better way though.
I I suppose. I mean, kind of.
I mean, that's I guess what games are you referring to? Which games do you think are better?
Well, it's not that I think that they're better. I just think that they're generally taking other things from other games and it's like and passing it off as brand spanking new innovation things that they've done, which isn't the
Sure.
case.
No, I get that. I get that.
And that's one of the only things, as much as I love doing stuff with in zombies, that's one of the only things I don't like about the zombies community is they're like, when
Well,
anyone else besides
this
Treyarch does
first.
anything, it is awful. But when Treyarch does the exact same thing,
Yes, that is actually a
innovation.
huge downfall. I hate that a lot. It's like I saw World War II as a not bad game. Okay, we're really getting sidewinded here. What the hell are we doing? Um,
No, by all means, man.
we're
Like
get
this,
we're
talk
getting
about
off
it.
track, but I see that okay, wait no. Okay. Well, cleared my throat now. World War II seemed to have done many things different.
Hmm.
Like I don't know if they had 150 health for the player, but that was pretty cool. But that's not bad, I'd say.
But they just buffed it up to 200 health.
Okay, yeah, that kind of sucks.
Yeah, but
A,
so
a segue.
yeah, but
Masterful.
yeah, for zombies, I wanna start with mutations because Delta, you were already pretty close to touching on this, and honestly, I don't feel like it's getting off track because it's something that should be talked about. That if we look at like our mutation system, for example, everyone's like, oh, there's over 100 different ways to change up the game, but I don't know. I know Carter said he's touched it a little bit, but Delta, have you seen or touched any of the mutations at all yet?
Well, I can't touch them.
Oh yeah,
He
because
doesn't
you're
have the
right,
game.
right, right. So like
Yeah, they look nice. That's pretty cool.
generally
Like
the stuff that we have for actual mutations and stuff are either things that we've seen before, or they're things
bosses
that are
only.
they're things that we've seen before, or they're very inconsequential, I feel. So like they have 5 different tabs. They have a general, systems, weapons, enemies, and player, and then you can adjust, and then there's a bunch of subsections, of course. And in general, you have your starting round, so you can make yourself start at a maximum of round 50. You can make it, you can, so there's a round cap, a time cap, show a timer, kill cap, special rounds can be turned on or off. you can turn traps on or off, and you can turn starting weapons on or off.
That's pretty cool.
That's in general. So the 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 only new things that haven't really been specifically done has by anybody that I know of has been like the round cap and the kill cap. And then turning special rounds off, I feel like is sort of the same sort of concept as stuff that we've seen in like Black Ops 2. And then turning traps off is new. Starting weapons being off isn't necessarily new. We've seen that in IW where the starting weapon was your fists, but
Yeah.
it's a little bit different, I guess. And then you get your systems where it's just like you can turn off certain perks and stuff like that. But the other problem with that is that it doesn't really matter if you turn off a perk or something like that realistically, because you can only have 4 of each of these sorts of things. But like I've experimented enough with this that like I've pretty much gotten it down to the fact that with mutations I can make it so that way I have so much health and the zombies deal so little amount of damage that like the only way I'm going down is if I'm trying to commit the sui. And like
That's
generally the
pretty.
only thing that I think that was specifically really new that mattered was like you can make it so that way the zombies actually deal extra damage. They are always super sprinting, things like that that aren't super consequential, and it's more like the most of the things that you can make that are really really difficult or like anything new are mostly just like, oh, I'm gonna make it so that way, the entire game is basically the most impossible thing in the entire universe. And then there's a few other things, but most of the stuff in this we've seen in other games before. So like there's plenty of things that are really useful, but there's plenty of these that are just very inconsequential unless you're trying to forcibly make the game the most impossible thing on the planet, which then that's eh.
I mean, it's your choice though with the mutation. You can do pretty much whatever you want. There's
Yeah,
even like a quadruple boss feature. That's cool though.
Agreed.
my
Okay,
problem with mutations is that you can't. Well, how do I explain it? You can't really get XP. That's what I meant to say.
Yeah.
You can't get XP, and you can't like level up with mutations, so no one's doing it.
Yeah, I think see this is one of my things too, right? Is I think I don't think that they should make it that way right now as it stands that all the Easter eggs are unsolved except for alleged
No, Milo just
al-
got cutscene
yeah,
on 9.
allegedly. I haven't confirmed this, so but apparently Milo has just completed 9, first in the world. But like here's my thing, right? Is if you yourself haven't done the main quest Easter egg, then you definitely shouldn't be able to do the Easter egg with mutations on. But let's say a month or two from now, right? We've all completed Blood of the Dead, Classified, 9. We've completed all the maps. Okay, let's say that we get to that. And we all have the trophies. I should be able then, if I've completed them already, to do it with custom mutations on. So that way then I can make a more well established, well done like sort of tutorial as opposed to how it is where previously where we were like, okay, we're seeing these videos of people and we're having to use other perspectives or something like that, or like all these different weird things where it's like these are just basically highlights from your live stream where you found it, versus like it gives you a reason to want to do the Easter egg again because then you can go and make sure. Because how many times have you guys had this where you go on YouTube, maybe like a couple hours after the Easter egg's been solved, and then people are going and saying things along the lines of, "This is what worked for me," or "This is how we did it," which makes you think, okay, so are you saying that's the only way to do it, or there's other ways? If there's other ways, why don't you let me know? Stuff like that. That makes me go, So like I just
We're
generally
having
think that with
technical
mutations,
difficulties. Hold on. I'm having technical difficulties right now.
like with me, like can you hear mine properly or what? Oh, okay. Carnage, are you having technical difficulties too?
No, I'm good. I'm
Okay.
good.
Okay. Delta will just be right back. Okay. But
That's better. All right.
I generally just feel that with mutations, there should be a different differentiation of like, okay, I've completed the Easter egg. I should be able to now do it again, but with mutations on to make a more comprehensible guide, to make more comprehensible things in general. So that way then or, for all the masochists like smart guy out there, I want to try and do the Easter egg, boss zombies only. But like
Yeah.
but like that's the thing is if you can't do any of the Easter eggs and you can't gain any experience, like utilizing the mutations is almost completely meaningless because then at the end of the night or at the end of the day, sure you can make it so that way you force these challenges to happen, but the challenges mean nothing at the end of the night.
Yeah.
But let's
Carnage.
let's proper segue into zombies. Let's talk about each map.
Carnage. Good.
Yeah, I'm
Easy.
good.
Okay, there you go. Okay, never mind. Something happened for some reason. I don't know what.
All right, let's let's start with Carnage. Yeah, let's start with Carnage this time. Go map by map and tell us what you think and what your likes and dislikes are.
So which map we starting with?
Whichever one you want
Sorry.
to start with.
I think we should start with 9 first, honestly,
All
because
right.
I mean, I'm actually I was actually gonna verify to see if Milo actually did solve the egg.
Yeah, he did, I think.
I know, but
Yeah.
I was gonna like fact check, like I was gonna go onto his stream and look.
Yeah, let me take a look. Where's the stream now?
Yeah,
Let's
all I
see,
know
Mr.
all
Waffle Waffles.
only reason
Rat
I know
lab.
it's a thing is because they mentioned it in someone else's Discord and added everyone and I was like, "Oh, okay."
Oh yeah, some people do it. Okay, never mind. We're not gonna focus on the $200 donation
They're in the
fee.
boss fight still.
Holy shit, that's a big ass elephant.
Yeah, they're still in the boss fight. So I think we should still talk about
He's the first in the world to
9
get to the
first,
boss
because I
fight.
mean
Then.
it's about to be solved.
Yeah, if they beat the boss, yeah. But let's talk 9 first, and then how about we do 9 classified voyage blood, so we go back and forth between
I
the
have a
two.
lot to say about classified.
I'm okay with that because so do I.
I have little to say about Voyage.
That is okay.
Yeah, Classified and Void are my two least played maps, honestly. I haven't played so much
Really,
Blood
Classified.
in 9.
Classified is
really.
heavily underrated.
It's
You
not though. A
you
lot of people love it.
you think it's
Yeah, no,
underrated, Delta? I think
I'm
it's
starting to see the things coming in saying that like Classified is kind of their least played. We're glitching Queen to the I think survey.
really. Well,
People play
okay.
Classified like least.
If she's basing it off of a survey, especially if it was a survey that was conducted on Twitter or Reddit, I I I
Twitter's kind of accurate.
I will. I feel like I disagree with that just because of the fact that I generally how best to phrase it. I feel like Twitter and Reddit are very very biased because of the fact that in general I've seen on my Twitter feed anyway I've seen a lot of praise for Classified. Like I know I myself have said that Classified is the best launch map, and I still stand by that statement. I still think Classified is the best launch map that we got for zombies. And I've seen plenty of people being like the lore and the stuff that we got from Classified is amazing and all this stuff.
Yeah.
But then with like other sort of maps, there it seems like honestly 9 has gotten the chefs thus far, but now that we're seeing that Milo might be the first in the world to solve the Easter egg, I guess that's a step in the right direction. But yeah, it just generally feels like the chaos story as a whole has gotten the shaft, just because most people are just being like, Blood of the Dead is the greatest map ever made, ever.
I don't see people saying that.
I've seen a lot of people
Yeah.
saying that. I've seen a
I
lot of
I mean,
feel
I
people.
like
love Blood. It's
no,
a
I
great
feel
map,
like I'd
but
say Classified is the one getting that said about.
I agree with the sentiment that Classified is a good map right now, right as it stands right now.
Blood looks really good though. I would
Yeah.
say.
Well,
It is impressive.
we'll get into that but when we do each map, but I feel like Classified generally, like, for me, depending on if it's true that Greg FPS, Unpunk, and Scorpiolo and the other guy that I can't remember the name of, I'm sorry to that person. If it's true that they have already solved the actual main quest of Classified and all your reward is a Winter's Howl, and it's only one person gets the achievement, then that's going to knock Classified down for me, but it's not going to knock it down a lot, honestly.
Yeah.
But I think Classified has definitely got the potential, especially if there's more to the actual main quest than just that. If there's more to it, then Classified has the potential to be like one of my top 10 maps, honestly, for me.
Yeah.
hmm.
But Carnage, go map by map. Tell us what you think of each map and what you
All
think of
right.
each thing.
So I think 9 is one of the best maps on disc.
Okay.
So I'm talking about the 3 maps on disc. Not talking about Classified. I think 9 is one of the best maps. Even with Classified, it's a little it's a contest because I haven't played enough Classified to really judge it. So I was never a fan of 5. Like, I mean, I played it, but my best memories of 5 were doing the table glitch.
Right.
Like just like having fun with my friends.
Right.
Like that's my best memories of 5, not like actually playing the map. Cuz I was more into Kino and um like that map, like and then when Ascension came out, that was my favorite map for a long time.
Right.
But I think 9 for high rounds will be one of my favorite maps ever cuz I just love everything you can do in that map. It's such a fun map. It really like was a good introduction, and I'm glad that that was the first map they used. Even though Voyage comes first in the story, I'm glad that they started off with 9 as the introductory map.
Fair enough.
Mm, mm, mm.
And then what are your thoughts so far of Voyage then?
So Voyage, again, I haven't played enough of it, but so far I think it's really hard.
Right.
Like insanely hard, mainly because there's no free rounds or no max ammo rounds.
Mhm.
Oh no. My breaking news, Milo actually did beat the Easter egg. He got cutscene.
Good. Good on Milo. Good on Milo. GG.
Good
Yeah,
job.
just saying cuz he's rewatching it.
Fair enough.
Okay, let's go. I wanna.
Okay, sorry.
Uh,
I'm just saying. But anyway.
breaking news. New topic. Immediate. No.
But 9 not 9, Voyage.
Voyage.
Sorry. Voyage. I feel like it's a little too challenging for some people. That like no one solved the Easter egg yet. I don't think anyone's even gotten close. But I could be wrong. I haven't really been following Voyage.
Right. All right. And then Blood.
Blood is, in my opinion, the best map on disc. But
I mean,
that's just my opinion.
Right.
Like, I know a lot of people really like Classified, but I've just had so much fun on Blood, and I feel like the catwalk is really hard, but I found a little strategy with stock option that really works.
Fair enough.
Stock option, and you need the LM the not LMG SMG as your starting weapon, and you can literally just get through that so easily.
Fair enough. And Delta, let's go map by map with you for what you've seen so far. Delta?
Something's going on here again.
No worries.
Okay, that was just a little bit delay. Yeah, anyways, Voyage kind of looks the least like, um, you know, ugh, like I haven't watched too many videos on Voyage yet,
All
but
right.
it looks pretty nice. Like I'd say, the skybox is a bit boring. I know it's supposed to be a nighttime and that it was supposed to be pitch black out, but this
Yeah.
is not blackout, and you can't have a map be so dark that you can't see it. So that's disappointing. The intro is cool when the iceberg hits the ship.
Mhm.
That's really nice to look at, but it
Yeah,
seems
like it
kind of
continues right where the
bland.
cutscene left off.
The aesthetic is very nice, but everything seems a little bit bland when compared to Classified, and that is the next one. Classified looks phenomenal. It plays and it looks great. The only controversy right now is with the Easter egg because I don't think the main Easter egg was solved yet,
Yeah.
even though Cold War Remedy is supposedly the main Easter egg.
Mhm.
But,
I think it
but, the,
was because when you think about it,
but there's a post Moon Ultimus. If you listen to the
yeah, but I
Uncharted
think
Easter eggs,
they're gonna like do them in another map. Honestly, I don't think this is the ending of Ultimus or Primus.
So do we want to get into that a little bit and like why whether or not like how we what we think about whether or not classify was solved or not and why or why not?
I don't think Classified was solved. But
Um,
And you think it hasn't been because of like the fact that there's the post moon Ultimus and that there might be
yes,
more to do
because
with them?
it seems like Dempsey's trying to break out.
Right.
If you heard the quotes, and also, Hangar 20 was changed to Hangar 4.
Right.
Some sort of change occurred in the timeline for that to happen. It looks insane. I love it already. Like,
but you got to remember they can't like base their Easter egg steps off of things that have like if they were making an Easter egg step where like Hangar 20 changed to Hangar 4, so you gotta do something involving that, then a lot of new players
mm,
won't understand it.
yeah,
They're
that's
not
the
gonna get
thing.
the reference.
But then there's also the
Um,
Easter egg where you survive 3 rounds in like Area 51, and each time something clears out and you have more of it revealed. I
yeah.
feel like that
Mhm.
should be explored a little more
Yeah, see, for me,
because
I'm of the opinion that I think this that Cold War Remedy is an Easter egg, but it is not the main quest, or at
it's
least
a
it's
side egg maybe.
yeah. I am of the opinion that I think that generally with classified that there's more to it. Whether or not I know what it is or not, I really can't say because I haven't like this is my weird thing about Black Ops 4. I haven't been super Easter egg hunting very much, honestly. But for
Mhm.
classified, I feel like there's generally this sort of feel to me that this is I said it on Twitter to Greg. I was like, dude, honestly, I don't feel like it is just because of the fact that one, the only other time there's ever been an Easter egg that only gives one person the achievement was Shangri-La, but at least that had something that generally sort of made some sort of sense because it had to do with the focusing stone, and there could only technically be one focusing stone versus Winter's Howl. We know for a fact that pretty much we know for a fact that a minimum of two are available. Well, a minimum of one technically, but you can get the Winter's Howl out of the box, and then you can get it at the end of the Cold War Remedy. So you can get at least two, if not more, total. So I don't generally feel like there's gonna be this thing where it's only one person gets the achievement unless this is just a complete oversight by Treyarch and then they might fix that. It's hard to say, but I generally just feel like there's got to be more to it. plus it just doesn't seem like I'm not one of those people that's like, okay, there's no ending cutscene. It's obviously not done because that's not what a main quest requires. I just think that there's too much still that's left sort of open that it just feels like there's got to be more, and if there isn't and it's proven that is the main quest, I I feel like then again that's again just going to bring classified down a peg for everyone around because it's like there should have been more, you know? So,
Mm-hmm.
Mashed
all right. And then back over to Delta. What are your sort of thoughts on you didn't really touch on 9 yet and you didn't really touch on Blood.
I'm trying to stay spoiler free for Blood of the Dead. That's my more anticipated map. But IX looks gorgeous. It has a lot of potential. I just saw the ending cutscene.
Fair enough.
It's
Oh, I avoided it because I want to see it for myself. Like when I do
like
the Easter egg.
there was a funny moment in the cutscene where someone's body like was invisible, and there was a moment where someone's body was invisible and then it just popped in.
Oh my
You gotta
Like
love
God,
when
Treyarch.
you gotta
it's
love when
great.
things glitch.
Blood. I heard the radios though. The radios for Blood are incredible, fantastic.
The radios for Blood are really good. Yeah.
Fair enough. All right, and Delta, if you gotta go at any time, feel free, man.
Yeah, I gotta go eat.
All right, we'll see you
And
then.
this has been fun. May I'll see you soon. I'll see you in a few.
See you later, man. All
See
right,
you, man.
and then as far as me, I will go 9 classified blood or voyage blood. Um, as far as 9 is concerned, I feel as though 9 is definitely an interesting map, and it sort of feels as though the same way that I kind of imagined it would after we saw the first few like the gameplay from the reveal event. It feels very much similar to like sort of the fight arenas or whatever they were referred to in Assassin's Creed Origins, which I loved.
Oh yeah.
Um, and I generally, the only issues I have with the chaos stuff thus far is that each of the maps, like 9 doesn't feel like it's super huge, but it feels like it's got so much verticality or like layering to it that I feel like I get
Right.
lost a lot. So it feels like it's the size of a small country. And Voyage falls victim to this too, where it just feels like it's just so large. Like
Oh
I
yeah.
was playing yesterday with a couple of my friends, and I couldn't even remember where one of the perk locations was, and did like 4 fucking laps around the entire map trying to find it, and I was like, I don't know where it is. I can't find it at all. And then I found it eventually, but I was just like, this is insane. It takes forever. But yeah, so with 9, I feel like it's a good map and it's got a lot of possibility. I haven't seen anything to do with the cutscene yet, and honestly, I may or may not watch it. It depends because it's is it still in like his live stream form, or has he just uploaded just the cutscene yet?
I do not know.
Because if it's just in a live stream format, I'm not gonna watch it because I can't I can't
He probably
I
hasn't uploaded it yet because he's still streaming.
right. So when whoever does upload just the cutscene and it's not them being like doing like a 5 minute long intro and then the cutscene, then I'll watch just the cutscene.
Ooh,
Um,
shade. Just kidding.
oh, dude, you have no idea. I just like the reason I don't want to go back and watch Milo's stream is just I honestly with him and Lex now, I don't enjoy watching them anymore. And it's not because of anything they did or like anything like that. I just they don't they don't entertain me or interest me that much anymore. I just feel like generally a bunch of things about them have just kind of became sort of lost on me that I'm just like sort of I don't know. I don't really know how to feel about them. So, but yeah, and I just don't want to watch a however long hour Milo stream where he's doing whatever he's doing and stuff because I just find myself easily agitated by some of the things that Milo says. So I just avoid that kind of
Mm,
confrontation easily.
right.
But anyway, back to my map reviews. Um, Classified, like I said, I feel like it's so far the best launch map for anyone that actually has the Black Ops Pass. To anyone that doesn't, I kind of feel sorry for you. Um, and the reason I think that is because I wasn't one of those people that liked 5 when it first came out, but I also didn't really like Kino that much because Kino is very much a map that I felt became way too repetitively formulaic, where it's like I'm gonna do the exact same things, go the exact same places over
Mm-hmm.
and over and over until I get bored. And I get bored way too easy. I was talking to Casually Clutching on Twitter. I was like, honestly, the reason I don't have insane like high round records is because I get bored of fucking running in circles or camping in a corner very fucking easy. So I can't do high rounds because of that reason. And thus I don't even know if I'm like a super great zombies player or not because I generally just don't like playing zombies for like
If you can do
4
Easter
hours.
eggs, you're a good zombies player. That's my opinion.
Fair enough.
Like there are two kinds of zombies players: the high rounders and the Easter eggers. If that makes any sense,
Oh
Easter
yeah.
eggers.
See,
Like,
for me,
and then
I
there's
feel
the
like
speed runners.
the
There's the high round speed runners.
yeah,
There's like a bunch. Actually, there's more than just two, but you get my point.
yeah. So for
You
me,
can be good at like anything in zombies.
yeah,
But
for me, I think that Classified is the best one because of the fact that I generally, I don't know, it's the map that has me coming back the most because there's enough new areas that makes it feel actually genuinely fresh, and I feel like
mm,
between it and Blood, they have about an equal number, if not more, for Classified, new playable space that is different. And with
right.
Classified, as opposed to 5, I feel like Classified took all the weird areas that we always all felt were really, really tight. Like for example, when you come off the elevator, the first elevator into the war room, but before you go downstairs, so the areas where most of the DEF CON sort of switches are, and where all the windows are, and where you used
Yeah.
to buy the MP5, that area always felt tight to pretty much everybody, and nobody really wanted to do training there unless they were trying to get rid of the Pentagon thief. But now in Classified, I don't know like why or how, like I can't quite explain in it, but it seems like it's a little bit wider, and it feels like I can genuinely, like if I see a zombie ahead of me, I feel like I can actually go around the zombie as opposed to just getting fucked over up there. I don't know if that's actually true or not, but it seems like it, and that's how it feels. I love all the lore from Classified. I thought Classified's lore and like story stuff thus
Hmm.
far has been pretty fucking great. Um,
Right.
and I also want to point out that I feel like Nolan North was used a lot for voice acting in this game because you got two different versions of Richtofen, and then he's like active in at least like a handful of radios in Classified, and I think he's like the voice actor for a bunch of other radios and other maps. So I find that to be pretty funny. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, and I found it to be quite a surprise actually. That after you upgrade the sort of teleporter and you build all the parts for that, they ended up being teleported to Area 51. I thought that was crazy. And then when they made it so that way there was a bonfire sale if you survive for 3 rounds and you open up a small area, I was like, oh my god, that's so crazy because bonfire sales, best drop ever. They need to make it so that way in mutations you can put bonfire sales on every map because that would be great. I love it, and I will never not love it. Um, and I like this sort of like mini Easter eggs where like if you want to hear the radios from the phones, you have to get a gun that has the Shockomatic or whatever that upgrade is called, where
Yeah.
where it does
Yeah. I forget
electricity
what
and you
it's
shoot the
called.
gun at the thing. That is cool to me. I think that that's awesome because then at least again, it's more of that stuff that I always said I liked about World War II, where it's like things that sort of kind of make sense and give some sort of explanation as to why things are just happening the way that they are, as opposed to like if I was just to walk up to the telephones and hold square like you do in OG5, I'd be like, okay, I saw nothing, and all of a sudden I can hear these voices. Why couldn't I before? Things like that. Um, but yeah, I like that. So yeah, and then to do Voyage, and I still feel Voyage is too fucking big, honestly. And when I say too fucking big, I know it sounds like an obvious complaint. Um, but at the same time, I like that it's pretty historically accurate because of the fact that the Titanic was called the Titanic because it's fucking large. So
Yeah.
I think it's too big in the sense that it's too big for a zombies map, but it's big to the point where it's at least seemingly historically accurate. And the opening actually being connected right from the cutscene, amazing. Um, and honestly, there's if you can manage to get to the other side of the ship from spawn, where like this game's version of the AK-47 wall buy is there, and where you get like I don't remember what it's called, but
It's the KN 50 something.
yeah, the KN thing, and then if you can get like that
KN
same
57.
yeah, that same area where that and the first like portal is and like the pack a punch and all that stuff, that's a super easy training area that you can almost never die in until there's way too many special
Yeah.
infecteds. And that's my only complaint about 9 and Voyage is that there's way too many special infected zombies. And I feel that even more so in Voyage actually than in sort of in uh 9 because in 9 like when I see the Blightfather in 9, I'm like, okay, at least his general color aesthetic and his color schemes and how he looks seems like it can fit in this time period sort of. But like in Voyage he just doesn't because he's got like all these yellows and like greens and stuff and it's like this is like a blue ship. Very blue, very red. So I don't know. I feel like they should make it so that way there's no Blight Fathers on um, Voyage. And as far as those elemental zombies, like the ones that are like gas, water, those are really dumb. Because
Yeah.
if you could kill them before they start running at you, they're insta kill just like any other zombie. Like they have the same zombie health. But then as soon as they start running, then all of a sudden they have like the insane amounts of health, and you're just kind of sat there like, this is dumb. This is really dumb. And then to get into blood, and I guess this is good that Delta isn't here, so you avoid spoilers. But honestly, I feel like blood is. Oh man, blood. I just feel like is a whole lot of missed opportunity. When they said, like, in the original interview from when they were announcing Zombie Chronicles, and then JC was talking to Jason, and then they were saying, "Oh well, we originally built the entirety of Alcatraz, and then that there's something coming with Mob, and then we all knew that it was going to be blood, and then we got blood." I was thinking, okay, from what I know of Alcatraz, from pictures, movies, TV, all that shit, you know, there's like just this really, really like great areas like the training yard where it's like, oh, that right there is exactly that. Like that would be my area where I'd be like, okay, this could be a good area to do some training in, and it could be really interesting, and they could do some crazy stuff with that. And then the laboratory, I was like, I hope this laboratory is basically as large as the general ideas of what most people have for the actual catacombs of actual Alcatraz, where it basically is the same size as the entirety of the island, but underground. And I was like, this could have a shitload of potential to be fucking amazing. And then the laboratory ended up being nothing but those pods and a table in the middle of the room. And then, like, the training yard ended up being a very small pathway leading back into normal Mob of the Dead. And I was like, okay. And then the only other new area is the warden's house and all these, like, little the fast travel things, and I'm just kind of sat there like this is okay, I guess. I don't know how I
Well, they
feel
introduced
about
a
it.
lot of other new things like the Magnagat. They.
Yeah,
Another
I know they added some new like different things as far as like the Blundergat and like upgrades and different things like that. I know they did that stuff, which is cool, but I'm talking new area wise, it's just very underwhelming, and it still doesn't seem like it's the entire island of Alcatraz at all from what I know of it. And like I'm just kind of like there's a lot of missed opportunity here, and unless the blood Easter egg and main quest is amazing, I don't generally feel like it's going to be a map that I'm like, okay, this is premier like great map, because I was one of those people, I didn't like Mob in the first place. Like Mob was just it was a good it was a good map, but it's not like it's nowhere near my top 10 maps. But then when Blood came, I was like, okay, I'm still probably not likely to like it if it's too similar to Mob, and now I feel like it's too similar to Mob, and it's not giving me enough reason to be like changing my mind and suddenly being like, oh, Blood of the Dead is amazing. I don't have that yet, and unless they do something really crazy and like wow the socks off of me, like by giving me something that actually makes me surprised or care, I'm not gonna I'm not gonna end up liking Blood like very much at all. So maybe that's just me, but that's my 2 cents on that.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. I just think that with the new mechanics and all that, I think they're more focusing on that than trying to make Blood a completely different map from Mob. I think with the new mechanics, it makes it's enough of a different thing.
See, it's not that I wanted a completely different new map. It was more that when they said, okay, we built the entirety of Alcatraz, and when they were then like, okay, we have some more to do with remastering Mob of the Dead, I was genuinely like, shit, they're gonna give us all of Alcatraz. That's gonna be great. And then they didn't really give us much of anything new, and I just felt very underwhelmed by it. And unless they give me any reason to be surprised by like the quest or anything, I'm not gonna like it's gonna be the same as Mob, where it's like it's a good map, definitely. There's no denying that, but it's not gonna be a top 10.
Who knows? Maybe the Easter egg, the main quest will be like one of the like have. I think the cutscene's gonna be a tearjerker, honestly.
I mean, I don't know. For me, maybe I don't know. I just feel like I might be too cynical about uh premise as a crew, just because of the fact that like when it comes to what happens with premise is just I don't like that they're continuing to do stuff to do with premise after Revelations, because I feel as though that after Revelations they've set it up pretty clear that there's only two outcomes to their cycle. Either they continue the cycle or they die. And the main problem I have with Blood, and why I think the likelihood is that they're not going to be able to pull anything out that's going to make me like this map like more than I do at the moment, is that okay, if they if they die even in a super tragic death, everyone, like, yeah, it's going to be tear jerking for sure, and you're going to be like, damn, like, oh man, I'm bummed out, and I probably will be too, but I'm still going to be like meh at the same time, because I'm like, it's inevitable. Either they're doing that or they're continuing the cycle, and I genuinely don't feel interested in seeing 20 maps where at the end of the day, no matter what happens, it still leads to two outcomes. It's that this all this stuff, they can make another 20 maps to do with premise, and I still feel as though no matter how crazy these maps are, that they can be like these weird sort of tangents in time, it still feels as though that no matter what they do, it's still going to converge on one of those two endings: death or continue.
Well, the comic showed Richthofen like Ultimus Richtofen joining the crew,
Right.
which might be interesting.
Yeah, and see that kind of stuff makes me think, okay, there's potential that they can try and change something enough that they don't have to continue the cycle. Like the main thing that makes it that way they're stuck in this loop is that Richtofen is making them continue the cycle. And Richtofen is also making it so that they do all these crazy things that makes them have to die at some point. But like what happens if say, and this is just a theory, I don't know, I don't have any intel, so if this is what happens, don't at me. I mean, at me if you want, but whatever. But like, what happens if in Blood of the Dead, we sacrifice Primus Richtofen or something like that, and he dies, and thus it's not that we break the cycle in doing that specific action, but like, what happens if then in Classified it turns out that say Ultimus Richtofen breaks out, and then we get one more map that leads to what we see in the comics, where then the cycle breaks because it's completely like the variables of the cycle have completely changed because this isn't the
Yeah, because it's
same.
no longer Primus rules.
Yeah, exactly. So that if that happened, then I would be like, Blood of the Dead is a great fucking map and has the potential to be a top 10. If they do something that actually surprises me in the sense of like they do shake things up versus like if it's just like, oh, Nikolai dies or Takio dies, or if anyone besides just Richtofen dies, like if all of them die, I'm unimpressed. If Tank, Dempsey, and Nikolai, Tank and Dempsey, Tank, Takio, and Nikolai, or if all three of them die, or if one of them die, I'm still unaffected. But if it's just Richtofen dies, and then the rest of Primus escapes, I'll be like, oh shit, where's this going? Could they actually be changing the cycle enough to actually not have to continue the cycle or die? Then I'll be interested. But if it's
Yeah.
anything, honestly, if it's anything else, I just don't feel like it's gonna be something that I'm like, oh yes. But here's the other thing too, is that if they do that, then it's gonna be the classic. Like I feel like that's the most likely outcome is that Richtofen will die and in blood, and then they'll continue doing other things, and it will be that way. Just the reason I think that is just because that's the classic Treyarch thing, where it's like, oh, you thought you knew it. Well, we gotcha. We gotcha. So, also,
Right.
another gripe I have, because this is dumb and like, how is this an oversight, Treyarch? Is as you're coming out of the spawn and you're going to the first dog, that little like ramp that leads to the door that leads to the room that has the first dog head, like the ground, you can fucking clip through the fucking ground up to your fucking waist. Like you're still playing and you don't like it's not buggy where like, oh, all of a sudden I can't move, but it's just silly to see. Like I can play with bots or I can play with a teammate, and all of a sudden I turn around and I'm like, hey, you want to open the? Oh, what the hell? Why is half your body missing? Oh, you're just glitching to the fucking ground.
Mm-hmm.
So Treyarch, fix your game. And as far as I want to say this for Casually Clutching, my boy, because apparently he's having plenty of issues with his KD as far as Blackout's concerned. Treyarch, fix your game. So, Carnage, any
Yep.
any lasting thoughts? Any last few things we want to touch on or say before we wrap up?
Not really. I think we touched on everything.
I like to think so. So, everyone out there, I have been Lux. This has been my awesome co-host Carnage. The other gentleman that was speaking was our other co-host, Asteroid Delta. Their links are going to be in the description below. Please do not hesitate to give us some feedback or say a game that you want us to cover or something. If it has something that's interesting, we will try and cover it. But honestly, if it's mostly just like Call of Duty or zombies or whatever that's kind of keeping up genuine, fresh content that we all actually care about, that's going to be what we talk about. We talk about whatever we feel is fresh, relevant, and makes us actually have something to talk about. We're going to try and do this as frequent as any sort of updating or anything like that comes. And if there's anything you guys have to add to the conversation, don't hesitate to tweet us or put it in the comments down below. I do hope everybody enjoyed, and we will see you in the next one, boys.